Good morning, second grade families. Mr. Sargent here with your daily checklist. First things first, proud of each and every one of you. The work that I got in the past 2 days has been really, really good. It shows me that you guys are still working hard, even though you're not here. And that definitely makes me proud. Today, continue with the reading packet, as well as the vocabulary on the spelling packet. All right. Also, another assignment is on readworks.org. And today we're going to go through it step by step and read the story together and see how we can have success on this activity. So the story you're going to find on readworks.org is called The Paper Airplane Contest. And the home screen looks like this. So if you're logged on to readworks.org, you can follow along with me. Or if you're sitting there on Dojo and just want to listen to the story, you can listen as I read it. But make sure you're listening carefully because I will be asking some questions later. All right? Okay. One time, the teacher at the school wanted to teach the students about airplanes. While airplanes can fly, some are able to fly farther than others. This is because not all airplanes are built the same. For example, a fighter plane looks very different from a plane that people fly in when they want to go on holiday. The teachers wondered how they could make students understand this. Then the science teacher, Mr. Moose, decided that the school should have a paper airplane contest. Every student should design a paper airplane. They would stand in a line in the playground behind the school. The students would take turns throwing their airplanes. The student whose airplane went the farthest would win. When Mr. Moose announced the paper airplane contest to the students, they were very excited. A student named Paul, who was on the wrestling team, bragged to everyone else that his airplane would win. "I am the strongest," Paul said, "so I will be able to throw my airplane the farthest." However, while Paul was saying this, another student, Brian, was thinking how he could win. Brian did not play any sports and was not very strong. He loved airplanes and really wanted to win the contest. Brian realized what he had to do. He went to the store and bought a big stack of paper. When he got home, he took the paper into his backyard. He took a piece of paper and folded an airplane. It didn't go very far. So Brian took another sheet and folded another airplane and threw it. This airplane went a little farther. Brian kept folding different kinds of airplanes and throwing them. Some went very far, some did not. Finally, when Brian had used all the paper, he walked up to the airplane that had flown the farthest and picked it up. The next day, the contest. All the students lined up. Everyone took turns. After a while, everyone had thrown except for Paul and Brian. Paul went first. With a mighty yell, he launched the airplane into the sky. It went farther than any other airplane. Everyone clapped. Finally, it was Brian's turn. Brian took the plane that he had picked up the day before. He walked up to the line, and with all his strength, he threw the plane. It went flying farther and farther until finally it landed 10 feet past Paul's plane. The whole school cheered. Brian was the winner. Mr. Moose gave him a prize, a toy airplane. Brian won because he tried out many solutions to the problem and how to make an airplane fly very far. He did this by testing out many different designs and comparing the results. When he found the design that worked best, the paper airplane that flew the farthest, he used it. Because Brian tried a lot of designs, he was able to make up for his lack of strength and beat Paul. So now that we've read the story, let's put our information on our bubble map. With the first circle, we have our characters, Mr. Moose, Paul, and Brian. Now, if you remember, Mr. Moose is the teacher, Paul is the strong one, and Brian is the one that tries out many different solutions. Our next bubble is the setting. If you remember, it happened at school, the school's playground, and happened during the daytime. because remember, setting is not just where it happens, it's also when. Our next circle is the problem of the story. And in this case, it was Paul was strong, but Brian wanted to win. Now, everyone thought Paul was going to win automatically just because he was the strongest. So what did Brian think of doing to solve this? The solution is the next bubble. And the solution to this one is Brian tested and practiced with many planes. And by doing this, he was able to find out which one worked the best. The final bubble is the lesson learned. This is the lesson that we learned by reading this story. I'm going to leave this one blank, but I am going to give you a hint. And my students should know this. It is one of my favorite quotes, something that I say almost every day. Now that we've read the story together and broken the story down into bubbles, you can go to the question set that's on readworks.org and go ahead and answer those questions. Thank you to those that have already gone on ReadWorks. Been very impressed with what I've seen. If you need any help, message me anytime. I hope you guys have a great day. I miss you guys, and I'll talk to you later.